the best defensive off guard in the league this year. And so she anchors a lot of what we do and is so critical to what we do. But honestly, they just shot lights out. Most teams around this league want Courtney shooting, right? They want the assist totals down. They want her to take shots. And, she's capable of this all the time. She just doesn't always have to. And we invited her to be more of a shooter tonight. And to her credit, she stepped up and had a fantastic night from the field.
Are there any?
Coach, in the second half, you chose to go with Natisha Heidemann to start off the game. I mean, and she exploded in the second half. Do you feel like she's ready to make another leap coming into next season?
Yeah, I thought she had a great season. At times, was mentioned early in the season with that core group of six person of the year. She's a real spark for us. She's an offensive weapon. She's really talented offensive weapon. Her growth is going to continue to be at the defensive end, and people try, to take advantage of her size. And she's grown throughout her 3 years in the league defensively, but that's still where her growth is. But offensively, she is talented enough to be on the floor a ton in this league.
I know you had losses to them in the regular season, but does this seem like a Chicago Sky at another level right now?
Yeah, I think this is the Chicago Sky that we expected in the bubble. And, we beat them in the playoffs last year, and they got banged up at the end of the year. They're healthy right now. They didn't have a healthy Azare. They didn't have Diamond at the end of the bubble. They just, this is what we've expected for 2 years of them. That's why throw the 16-16, whatever their record was, out the window. This player for player team is just dynamic offensively. And there's a real confidence with them right now. But what's really impressive is how hard they're playing. You have to credit them playing well. And James is, he's pushing all the right buttons. I mean, I got out coached for these 8 days. And, so I think you're seeing what we all saw. When you can't pick your own team, I had this Chicago team in my preseason poll as a team that would be in the final. And they have the two best passers in the world. They have the best passing guard, and they have the best facilitating forward in the world. And the ball's usually in one of their two's hands. And then there's dynamic players all around. But that's what we all talked about going into the season. Like, they have the best passing guard. They have the best passing post. How many fun things you can do when you have that kind of combination.
Sure, Kurt. I have kind of a two-parter. One, I want to, if you could elaborate on what you were doing late in the third, that you kind of forced turnovers and kept the Sky scoreless, and then just Candice Parker coming through at key moments. What did you see from her?
I've had the luxury of when I first got in the league to coach Candice, so have tremendous respect, absolutely, and loved my year coaching her. And again, when she's healthy and she plays hard, like you see a special player. And there was, great battles. I mean, Alyssa Thomas is as good at one-on-one defender in that position as there is. And you saw great battles. You saw her go inside, outside, attack against our other post players. You saw determination for Candice. You don't see her floating around at times at the perimeter, in these, at times she became a facilitator and is standing at the perimeter and just wants to shoot threes. You really see her in attack mode. She's playing as well as she has in years. And you can tell she's really in condition, she's healthy, and she's playing with a determination.
Kurt, first of all, happy birthday. I wish it were a happier one for you. Just out of curiosity, what would you predict? You mentioned that you had predicted predicted the Sky sort of being in this position. What would you predict for them for the finals?
To be honest, because these press conferences last so long after games, I have seen very little of the other series. So I have no prediction on what's going to happen. I ultimately see fourth quarters and see final box scores, but I've not invested a ton of time in that series yet. So I don't know who they're going to play, but I know whoever they do play has a very balanced, talented offensive team to get ready to deal with.
We'll move over to Zoom now. Alexa, you may go first, followed by Miles.
Hi, Kurt. Jonquel really stepped up tonight. And I know we talked a lot about what the defense was allowing her or not allowing her leading up to tonight's game. But for her to have, I know it wasn't the result you all wanted, but to end things on a positive note, what did you see from her tonight in helping you guys stay in the game when so much was not working offensively?
A determination. She wanted the ball. She hunted for shots. And again, we asked her to hunt for shots and, maybe even forced at times. That was the only thing that got her in trouble tonight, but it was great to see an aggressive Jonquel really hunting for shots in different ways and wanting the ball and still being very active on the glass. You just see how talented, she is. And she hasn't finished. She has growth there. She has another level, which, is always fun to be able to say about the MVP and the best league in the world. She's not done. She has a chance to take another step. But you saw, a determined player tonight that really wanted to do anything she could to help get this team back to Connecticut for Game 5.
If
Miles?
if I could quickly follow up, some of the offensive execution issues or offensive issues tonight, did you feel like those were, because we've talked about all season how the offense was kind of struggled at times with the execution? Did you think those kind of symptomatic of some of the issues that were plaguing the team all season, or credit also to the Sky's defense really stepping up?
Again, Alexa, there's not only one answer. And again, I have, a lot of days ahead of me now to watch this film, but my knee-jerk reaction is that it's a combination of a lot of things. The game got faster than we wanted at times, and we weren't playing at our pace and playing maybe a little sped up. To, I think, our desire. Someone asked me in the pregame press conference, to sometimes wanting it so bad at times get you out of character in these big games. And I thought our desire to win was so high that at times we were out of character tonight that way. And then, some of it is absolutely, some of the things that have been an Achilles heel all year coming back to bite you.
Hey,
There's not one thing, especially without watching the tape, Alexa.
Thank you.
Hi, Kurt. After the Sky had built an 18-point lead midway through the third, you were able to hold them scoreless for the remainder of the quarter, but could only cut that deficit down to 7. Was that the pivot point, do you think, the turnovers that you had at that stretch that prevented the team from taking more advantage during that prolonged deficit on their end?
Yeah, I thought we had some empty possessions, rushed possessions where we didn't get him into another action and we took some tough shots in stretches. So we went empty possessions when we were stringing together defensive stops. And with all that said, had it to mid single digits to start the fourth quarter. And then, again, before you know it, all that work to get it down and they get it back to double digits. And it just seems like you're always trying to come from behind, and we can never make it close enough where, they felt pressure, it's so interesting. The narratives could be so different going into this game because they had huge turnovers, like last possession turnovers in game 1. We couldn't take advantage of it. We know they had the huge turnover in game 3 and we couldn't take advantage in the breakaway layup. The narrative could have been so different. I mean, it could have put so much pressure on Chicago that it was another Vegas bad turnover, but we just never capitalized on some of our golden opportunities in game 1 and game 3. The narrative could have been so different going into it tonight. And we just didn't take advantage of some of our opportunities during these 8 days.
Thanks so much.
We'll go to Sylvia, followed by Charlotte. Then Rafiq will be the last question.
Hi, coach. Is not the result you wanted. Besides from the individual awards, what is your favorite moment from the season? Could be moment or moments.
Was that favorite moments from the season?
Yeah, favorite moments from this season.
You know, it's when you're around a special group, it's nothing that will ever stand out. It's just your interaction with them daily and see how happy and genuinely caring for each other. Being in the airport when they realized that Bree Jones was going to be named a WNBA All-Star, the true joy that her teammates had when we found out, like literally players were brought to tears for her. So, you know, there's moments like that unselfish locker room was so happy for each other's success this year. And one of those is, you know, everyone was so happy with the season that Bree Jones put together. That's a great example of how they were just genuinely happy for each other's success.
Charlotte?
Hi, Kurt. Actually, kind of to build off of that a little bit, what, besides the team culture, what stood out just from, I guess, on the court side of things that this group was able to do that perhaps surprised you and that you could, knowing the pieces that you have for next year, just kind of take into next season and go into this off season kind of thinking about?
Yeah, again, the sustained success, the consistency to finish in this league with a 14-game winning streak, to step up to the plate each and every night and be focused to do that is just not a normal thing. That normal is not the right word, but it's not an every year occurrence to win that kind of win streak in this league. So I'm just so proud that each and every day they were consistent with their preparation to put themselves in position to be the top seed. We never, ever, that group is not an arrogant, they're confident, but that group is not an arrogant locker room. We never boasted that we were the best team in the league, but we were really proud that we were the most consistent team in the league.
Rafiq, followed by Jacqueline. And Jacqueline, you'll be the last question for Kurt.
Hey, coach, although you did suffer another playoff failure, the way that you guys played during the regular season, how proud of you that you continue to become the team to beat for the WNBA later seasons going forward?
Yeah, I mean, again, it stings right now, Rafiq. It hurts. I hurt for them. They wanted it so bad. They put themselves in position. We've been the best home team in the league for the last 3 years, from 18, 19, and 21. And, you know, right out of the gates, home court advantage was gone. And then we needed to be able to steal one here, and we just couldn't get it done. So just, you know, tremendously proud. You know, that's the difference, right? Like being the number 1 seed, you know, brings pressure. And you mentioned a word, failure, you know, and there's teams that when their season ended that won 2 games since July, and everyone's talking about how great of a year they had. It's just the different expectations around the league. We had a team make the playoffs, won 2 games, and at the end of the year, everyone allotted them on what a fantastic year. They won 2 games, you know, like that is just the difference that comes with expectations. And so we're disappointed We have a ton of players on that locker room under contract. We have a ton of players in that locker room that are reserved free agents, so they can only negotiate with us. So, long time to put our roster together, but I'm excited about, this group and what this group can eventually do.
Jacqueline, you'll be the last question. Then we'll bring in the Connecticut Sun players.
Hi, Kurt. I know she didn't have her best game of the series, but could you talk about Alyssa Thomas and just what she has really meant to the team this year, especially her teammates, and, really just sticking around with the team all season and then putting in the work to come back to this point?
Yeah, inspirational. I mean, it's, miraculous what she was able to do in her 9-month recovery from an Achilles injury to even put herself in position. It's a credit to the type of person she is and hard work. She cares so much. She's, emotionally, hurt, like, coming back and not being able to help the team, get to the ultimate prize. So, she's an inspiration, for what she did, and what she was willing to put her body through to put herself in position to help her teammates. And then she's a warrior out there. She's, she's playing so hard considering she's coming off an Achilles injury. And that's something that, I never question. I never question how hard she plays. I never question her X's and O's. I never question her passion. And, she wanted it as bad as anyone on our team. And at times she wills that emotion and energy from other players on our team.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kurt. We'll go ahead and bring in Jasmine Thomas, Natisha Heidemann, and Jonquel Jones.
Thank you. Good luck to Chicago. Birthday cookie. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up to some questions for those of you in the room, followed by those of you that are on Zoom. Please raise your hand and I'll hand off the mic.
Michelle Vogel, ESPN.com. I guess, John Coyle, Kurt, one thing Kurt was saying is it just felt like through this whole series, you guys had to sort of play catch up a lot and you just weren't able to be at the pace that you wanted. Can you talk about why you think that happened? Did you think that was maybe the biggest key for this series?
Well, I think it was really important. We're a team that we thrive off of good starts and they thrive off of good starts. And so I can't say exactly right now as to why we didn't come out, with that, I guess, enthusiasm, energy that we needed. But I think it was definitely a big factor.
Annie Costable from the Chicago Sun-Times. Without Bree tonight, how did you guys respond when you heard that she was not going to play, and what big of a difference did that make, her absence?
We know what kind of defender she is. We know what she brings to our team from a physicality and leadership standpoint. So not having her on the floor, obviously, it matters. She's also been hitting the three for us. But we have people all season who have been able to do those things as well. Kyla stepped in and stepped up. She did a great job in her minutes, being able to, fit right into our defensive scheme. And we didn't miss anything there. And T's been shooting the ball well all year too. So I think while we miss Bree, we had our regular people who have been doing it all year step into those roles with confidence, and they did really well.
Chris Pennant with Winsider. There was a couple opportunities in the third quarter where where you were really smothering the Sky defensively, you wouldn't allow them in the paint, but couldn't seem to convert the opportunities on the other end. Did they change looks, or was it just a case of shots not falling?
I think shots just weren't falling. I think we had stops and we just needed to convert, like you said, and shots weren't falling. And it's unfortunate.
Tisha, you really came out firing in the second half. Is there anything that the coaching staff said to you or your teammates said to you to inspire an offensive performance like that in the third quarter, especially?
Wait, can you repeat it? Sorry.
Yeah, was there anything during halftime that the coaching staff, your teammates said to you just to inspire that performance that you had in the third quarter?
My teammates are always encouraging me, no matter if it's dropping or not, but coach made the decision to start me at the second half. So I felt like, just got to bring the energy, and we were down at half, so we just had to pick it up.
Yeah, Jasmine, one of the things Kurt said is with this Chicago team, you've got one of the best guard passers and one of the best forward passers playing together with Parker this year. How big a factor did you think she's made coming to Chicago this year, Candice?
I think she makes an impact in a lot of ways. Obviously, she's a super talented player, has a great career, and she brings all of that with her to this team, who arguably might have been missing that role on this team. Yeah.
You guys have been the team to beat all season, the number 1 seed coming into the playoffs, and the Sky had this championship potential. Now, looking at this team where they are now, do you see this team as a championship team with the potential to secure a WNBA title in the finals?
Are we talking about Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to the championship, so they have a shot, It's unfortunate we want to be in that position, but, they've given themselves the opportunity. They seized that opportunity now, so they're in that conversation.
Natisha, playing for Marquette, you've had some good games in this building. Is there an extra comfort level coming back to Wintrust?
In any building.
We'll take questions on Zoom now. Alexa, you may go first.
Hey guys, any of you can answer this, but Kurt said to us that he thought that maybe your guys' want to and your desire to win was so high that at times you guys played out of character because of that. I'm not sure if you agree with that. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I think all series, we never really clicked the way we wanted to. I don't think it came down to any one game for us. I think we kind of searched for a rhythm that we had at the end of that regular season. We never really got back to playing that style of Sun basketball in this series.
Thank you.
No, you'll be the last question for the players.
My question is to all of you guys. Tonight, Candice played a good game. What was it about her play that was just...
No, could you just hold on 1 second? It's okay.
Okay.
Could you go ahead and repeat your question, please?
Sure. My question was for all of you guys. Candice and Courtney pretty much had great games. What was it about their games and their play tonight that they were able to score against you guys' defense?
I mean, they're great players. They stepped up into the moment, made tough plays, and that's what playoff basketball is about. So they walk away with it now, going to the championship. So they just made tough plays.
Thank you.
Charlotte.
Hi, this is Charlotte from The Athletic. I just wanted to follow up on what you said, Jazz, about trying to find you guys' rhythm. Why do you think it was so difficult to find that kind of rhythm you guys were having at the end of the season? Was it the time off or just what the Sky were able to disrupt you with?
I don't really know. I think it was a little bit of both. You got to give credit to what they did on defense. It was probably the first time all year that we saw the hedging and the length consistently that they presented. But I think after the first game, we kind of settled into that. They didn't change too much game to game defensively. We just we played too fast at times, and we couldn't make the reads we wanted. We just weren't ourselves, and that's a credit to them. And also just us looking in the mirror and figuring out how we can be better moving forward.
Thank you. And thank you all for your time this season.
Jacqueline.
Hi, this is for anyone, but just hoping if you could talk a little bit about the bond that all of this team has had over the season, and just, what are some of your most memorable memories from the season?
I can answer that. I love this team, and this team is very, very special, every single piece. And we had a lot of fun off the court, on the court, and we care so much about each other that, you know, most games when we go out there, it was easy. It was easy to play with each other. We knew each other's strengths, we know each other's weakness, and when one person wasn't having an A game or whatever, you know, we always had each other's back. And I feel like that's what this team does. We got each other back. So after this, yeah, we lost. It wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but after this, we're gonna be on each other's phones, telling each other to get better. And like I said, we just got each other's backs.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes media avail for today. Chicago will bring in their coach and players shortly.
The gym was amazing. Was amazing. I had to take a couple of like second takes and just look at the crowd while I was coaching. I couldn't believe that. Well, I actually could believe it. I could believe it actually knowing the players that we had, but you know, the coach, I wasn't so sure about. But the players, they came ready to play. They were locked in, and it was just amazing to see the atmosphere. I mean, wow, I can't believe I was a part of it. So let's keep it going.
In the first month of the season, you and almost every player on the team, when they addressed the media through all of the challenges that you guys experienced, you consistently said, we know what we have, we know what we're capable of, we know we can get through this moment. And through every adverse moment, that was the message that you guys continued to send. So now reaching the finals, what exactly did it take to push through those moments to get to this one?
It took a lot of togetherness, a lot of belief, and a lot of blind faith, you know, in what we have as an organization and what we have as people. And sometimes you don't see it, but you know it's there, and you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And so it took some good leadership on our veterans' part too, as well. Our coaching staff did an amazing job. I know I'm the one up here, like doing all the talks and stuff like that, but the support staff, like they're amazing, and they do it every day. They come to work every day, and we have a saying, and you know, in our staff meetings and stuff like that, you know, renters do every day. And so we have to work for it every day. And so that's what they do. And everybody challenges each other to be their better selves. And that's, you know, that's the kind of atmosphere and culture we've created here. And we just want to keep that going.
James, Cheryl Raced-Out, WBEZ Radio.
Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you.
At what point during the season or during this particular series did you feel that you guys were going to be able to get to this point?
We felt it from the beginning of the playoffs. We were a very confident group, and you know, if I said it out loud, people probably would have looked at me strange. But here we are. Like I know who, you know, our team is, and that's, like I've said it before, like that's the most dangerous person, someone who knows who they are. I know who our team is, and that makes us dangerous. Our team know who they are, and that makes them dangerous. And so, you know, I had belief from the beginning, no matter how much the losses racked up. Sometimes I did come into question when we were on our 7-game losing streak, like, am I enough for them? But they, you know, they told me that I was, and I just wanted to make sure I was doing right by the ladies in the group, because they come in and they work every day. And that was important to me, that I get the best out of them, but they also get the best from me. And I just want to make sure I was always setting them up for success.
James, congratulations. First of all, Allison Moran from The Next.
Hey, Allison, thank you.
Hey, nice to see you in person.
Nice to see you in person.
Couldn't miss this.
Great.
What a journey it's been for yourself, for the players these past 3 seasons. Would you say that the adversity you learned from, the adversity that you experienced, did that truly prepare you for this moment, or was it something more?
I think it did. Adversity always builds character if you handle it the right way, especially if you allow it to humble you. So I've always tried to humble myself on, just doing the right thing and not getting too high or getting too low. I know, I've tried to figure out my faults and tried to correct them. I know sometimes I may make errors in judgment or errors in whatever, but I always try to come out on top. And I'm not afraid to say, hey, look, I made a mistake. And but I think, sometimes when it comes to you guys, you don't allow us to do that. But it's okay. It's okay. You guys do your job you guys do your job the way it's supposed to be done, and it's great. I just can't let that affect me as far as me and how I make decisions to better our team. And so I've always tried to keep that in mind. Like I want to do what's best for our team, whether that's making a quick trade or just or just trying to put the best team out possible, or just having the right type of people around. That I think that's important too. And so for me, it's all about the people, and I think that's what builds everything that we have.
During that 7-game losing streak, and even with Candice being injured at times, and early, just how much did her presence, the veteran leadership, all she's kind of experienced and a pro's pro being here help through that?
She's amazing. She's accomplished everything, and it's funny to say, but she's probably one of the most underrated women's basketball players of all time. And they're going to measure it by how many championships this player win, or but how she's carried basketball on her back, and how we've seen that transform into, her, what potentially could be her after basketball career, and how popular she is, and how many people she's brought to the game of basketball. I can say without a doubt, she has the most fanboys of anybody in women's basketball. And you should see how many people, all of my friends, when they, talk about, hey, you're coaching Candice Parker, or Candice Parker is the craziest thing. And guys I didn't even know knew anything about basketball. And she brings so much attention, and she's been able to think about the pressure and carrying that. And then she chose to come home knowing there would be more pressure, and able to be that person for us that we can lean on in times like these. I don't know if in our locker room, if we finish the season 16-16, if Candice is not in that locker room, if they believe the way they believed, and she took that weight off of them, and she carried us on to this point. So she deserves a lot of credit in this, and her leadership and her ability to make plays at her position. She's a unicorn of sorts as far as a basketball player, and she's a unicorn of sorts as far as how she transcends the game to blend with the men's game as well. So we're happy to have her. We're happy she was born in Chicago for that much. I understand that. Well, we'll claim Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. It is really, right? It's not?
Yeah.
Hey, if I take a boat on the water, I'm still in Chicago, so it's the same.
All right. Phil Thompson, Chicago Tribune. I have a couple, if I may. Kurt Miller said he just got out coached by you. Can you talk about the chess match? How, with them pressuring Van Sloot, she hits threes. Candice becomes a facilitator and hits points at the right time. Just talk about what Kurt was alluding to.
That's a tough one. I don't think I outcoached Kurt. Like he's the stuff that he's done, the things that he's done in Connecticut, and I think it was just matchups, and we have a lot of momentum, so it's hard to beat us right now. We did some adjustments, but I appreciate that's humbling coming from someone like him. He's somebody I look up to. But I don't know if it was out coaching or not. I mean, I think we had a game plan, we stuck to it, and we were persistent with our game plan. And they called us at the right time for us.
And then real quick, I asked before the game, in the big picture, what does this mean for you, and what does this mean for the franchise reaching this higher level?
It just gives us the opportunity to keep playing. Right now, I can't really focus on what it means for us at the moment. I'm really into, the next game. Like, we're still playing, and I have that. I'm going to appreciate this. But as soon as I walk through that door, it's time to concentrate on who we play next in the finals.
Yeah, Coach Wade, can you talk about Courtney Van Sloot being somebody who can beat teams with 18 assists or beat teams with like 19 points, that she could do both of those things? And then also, could you talk about the fact, I believe since the playoff format changed, you guys are the first ones to had to play a first round game and go all the way to the finals. Could you talk about both of those, please?
Courtney Van Sloot is someone I could talk about all day. I've had the opportunity to coach her a little bit everywhere. She is special. I bought her something. She doesn't know it because I still use it, but I bought her something 3 years ago. I bought her a mirror, and I told her, I'm gonna give it to her at the finals because I need her to know who she is. She is so special in who she is, and she's probably the most I don't want to say underappreciated superstar, but under talked about superstar. She's done everything for this franchise. We've seen her improve leaps and bounds, and she's just the top of her class. She's led the league in assists numerous times. She's the only player to average a double-double in a season with assists and points. And in our 25-year history, nobody has done that, and that has to be something that's talked about. She's an amazing human being. She's very coachable. We can have in-depth conversations, and I just appreciate the fact that she gets me. And I mean, the players in the locker room, they know that I'm very weird, and they accept that, and so that's what I appreciate. It just is what it is. But Courtney is someone that I really appreciate coaching.
Coach, Chris Pennant, Skyhook Podcast. 2 years ago, after the Las Vegas game, I remember you said that this is something that you didn't want to forget immediately, that feeling after the game.
Right.
How have you carried that? How has your team carried that since then? And how has that led to this moment and the moments coming in the rest of the season?
It's something that motivates me every day. I can't really put it into words because it's a painful feeling, I always felt like if you put us in a series with our coaching staff, we can do some things. And I felt like we had a chance to go to a series there, and it didn't work out. And so it just it hurt because it was our first time, and I got the players to believe, and we just knew with our heart that we were going to be Vegas. We just knew it, and I knew it, and it didn't work out. And so I really felt like I let them down. And but she stepped out of bounds twice. So fuck. She stepped out of bounds. So yeah.
Coach, in 2018, this franchise needed to hit the reset button, and they've hired you. Just what has it meant to you in the last 3 years to be able to help build a winning culture to get to this point, for this franchise to get to its first finals appearance since 2014?
So when I grew up, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I grew up. I had all these cousins that were 6'5" and 6'6", and I had this short man syndrome because I was the only runt, and our whole family came from a basketball family. And so when you have guys little, nobody believes in you as far as being a basketball player, and you have only belief in yourself. And so I grew up with like that chip on my shoulder of always trying to prove myself. And it was tough. Like, it was really tough. And so you get used to it. You get used to getting looked over. You get used to not, being in the in crowd, and you get used to not being, whatever. And so when somebody believes in you and they say, we're going to invest in you, it means a lot. So you don't let those opportunities go to waste. And so that's, so it's always a humbling experience when that happens. And it's a rarity in my life that it happened. So when that happened, I was very appreciative, and I just didn't want to prove them wrong. So when I get up every day, I get up and go to work, and I go to work like it's my last day. And so, I never felt like I cheated the players, and I never felt like I cheated this organization, and I never will.
James, one more question from me. Courtney, you talked about what she means to this organization, and she's not necessarily one to over explain her emotions in big moments, or share with us at least how
Not with
she's
you
feeling.
guys. No, not with you guys.
So I wonder if you could just let us in on her reaction in the locker room.
It was great. It was really, really great. Really great. We've been through a lot together, and it was a great moment.
Fair enough. I'll try and ask her.
Yeah. Try to get that out of her. Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. We're not done, so maybe when we get done and when the real party starts.
You started off by mentioning Chicago and what this means to the city. As you know, I mean, this is a hard city to get attention in, with 5 major pro sports teams and soccer teams and college teams here.
Right.
Do you feel like the Sky's getting embraced now by Chicago?
I think we are. But like anybody, I think we have to prove ourselves. They love us, but we want their attention. So Chicago wants a winner, and we want to give it to them. I think I said that before. And that's how we get their attention. That's how you get everybody's attention if you win. And so we want to do that. And if we keep on winning, they'll keep showing up. So the pressure's on us to keep winning, but we like that pressure.
Chantel Jennings, The Athletic.
Hey, James. Every coach in every season talks about getting their team to peak at the right time. I realize this is like the $1 million question, so if you have the perfect answer, it's perfect. But what is it about this team in this moment that you were able to get them to peak sort of after an up and down season at the perfect time?
A lot of things went into it. A lot of things went into it that, and I'm sorry, I appreciate you, Chantel. I probably won't share them, but yeah, a lot of things went into it. A lot of things, and players were involved and coaches were involved, and it helped us. We may need this again, so I'll keep that.
All right, thanks.
Noah Wilkes, Beyond Women's Sports.
How you doing, Coach Wade? Congratulations on the win. My question for you is, how would it feel to be able to bring a championship to the city of Chicago? The first basketball championship to the city of Chicago since the 1998 Bulls.
Yeah, that's cool. It will be great. It'll be really great. I remember seeing that series the Bulls had. I never would have thought in a million years that back in 98, let me tell y'all a story. Back in 98, my girlfriend was from Chicago. She's from Chicago. She lives in Chicago. This is a good secret, like whatever. I was in college, whatever. But she's from Chicago. And, she wanted me to move to Chicago. And I was like, no way, it's not happening. I was down at Kennesaw State. I was like, it's not happening. And she graduated from school and she moved back to Chicago. And that was it for us. That was it. And I met my wife like a couple of years after. But that's a funny story that she wanted me to move to Chicago. And I was like, hell no, I'm not going to Chicago. And here I am here in love with the city. Trying to do something that hasn't been done. And in 23 years, I bring a championship here. And I never would have thought in a million years back in 98 that this would have been the case. But man, am I happy, and I'm so fortunate. But it worked out. She didn't have a jump shot like my wife has now. So
Thank you, Coach Wade.
Can I go now?
All right, Doug.
Hey, James, Doug Feinberg. Congrats on the win tonight, man.
Thanks, Doug.
So Azra had a huge game for you again. Just talk about her effort in this game and just the series helping you guys. She can contain Jonquel, but also provide offense and defense for you.
She's amazing. Yeah, I think you guys got a chance to see her in the bubble last year, and how well she fit in our system and with our players. And so I think the biggest concern for me early on is how healthy she was, and she was on a time restriction. We knew that she would get to this point. We just didn't know when. And it became evident like after game 2 that now's the time. I got into this, I guess, comfort zone of playing her 20 to 25 minutes. And but I saw that without her, we probably couldn't have the upper hand in the series like we would have liked. So, she's healthy. And so we know that she's a major player, and that we were going to need her. But that's what we saw when we made the trade for her. We needed that long length, and everybody knows me. I have a type, and it's probably going to be 6'5", 6'6" with long arms that can run the floor. So that's what we have. We have a few players like that, and she's just a special one. The fact being that young, being that agile, and being able to shoot the ball. So we love what she did for us this series, and we expect for her to have a good series the next series as well.
Thanks, James.
Thanks.
Last question for James. Rafiq Lewiston.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you, Candice Parker, when you brought her on the team, it was all for moments like this. She was on Slam cover, she was on 2K cover. Now she's back in the finals. Only this time, not for the Sparks, but to your team. Getting revenge on the Connecticut Sun from last year. What goes through your mind hearing the words coming out?
What goes through my mind and what? I'm sorry.
So what goes through your mind with all the success you had this year under what I just mentioned?
A lot. I mean, she not only was she on the Slam cover, she was on Slam cover in Chicago Sky uniform. So that's like that was big. Like that was big. She's meant a lot to basketball. And for me, like coming into this year, like Candice is the biggest free agency signature in women's basketball history. And that doesn't get talked about. You never see a player like that go change teams and, still has a lot in the tank. And for me, I thought that was special for us, for our organization, because a lot of times you hear the organizations that's get mentioned saying, hey, this is an elite organization, this is an elite, this is elite. And then when you have an elite player choose an organization like ours, it should say something about it. But we weren't talked about really, the buzz around Candice Parker was good, but we weren't talked about because she was injured. Like she got injured, and we struggled without her. But our team was built to have her on it, and just the adversity means a lot too to us. Like going through it and being a 500 club, playing bad, playing well, then playing bad again. And now we're playing well again. And so it means a lot that through it all, the players, you saw the joy on their face on the sideline, and it was real. And we're a team. Like we are a team, and Candice is a big part of it.
Appreciate your insight and good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. We'll have Candice Parker, Courtney Van Sloot, and Kalia Copper.
Cookie time, guys.
We'll start with Annie from the Sun-Times.
Annie can always start. I'm sorry. Annie can always start. I only want to hear that day.
No. Candice's first question is for you. I spoke to your mom right after the game, and she said that everything has come full circle, and she followed that up saying that when you made the decision to come here, you told her, you know, whether you win a game or not, you're happy that you're home. So now in this place, in this position, helping this team get to the finals, how are you feeling?
It feels unbelievable. It was weird. Yesterday, I was looking at, like, Allie texted me yesterday, and then I just kind of, like, you know how iMessage keeps everything. So I kind of scrolled up, and there was a picture where they sent me like Chicago goods. So it was like Portillo, it was like pizza, it was, you know, like all this Chicago home stuff. And then I looked at the text messages, and it was like, you know, let's do this. Like, I'm coming home for a reason. Like, and they were like, let's do it. And so it was just kind of like full circle moment. To look up in the stands and just see all the people that I started playing basketball in front of, I think to me, it's super special, but this is a special group. I think the way you face adversity, you know, it's built our character and it's revealed it. And, you know, I think all of us believe going into playoffs, we would be sitting here, honestly. We knew it was going to take a lot of work, but it's super special to be with this group, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Kalia, during that month, and Courtney too, during that first month, second month of play, all the adversity you guys faced, you kept saying every media availability, like, we know what we got, we know what we have, we know what we can do. And no matter what loss came or what happened, that was continually the message. What exactly has it taken to turn that into this?
I think it's everybody's just staying on board and still believing. I mean, we talk about experience and playoff experience, but we've gone through enough this season that gave us enough experience that, you know, we knew if we could get through what we went through, you know, with injuries and just bad games, all of these things, winning 7 in a row, losing 7 in a row, whatever it was, if we could get through that and put it all together at the end, that we were going to be really tough to beat. You know, I think that we were battle tested going into all of these series, and it showed.
Todd, do you have anything to add to that?
She nailed it. Sorry.
Chris Pennant. Courtney Kalia, y'all have been here for a number of years, sorry. And kind of piggybacking off that adversity, I asked Coach Wade about his reaction after the Las Vegas game, and he said that was a pain that he didn't want to forget. It wasn't something that he wanted to turn the page on. How have you both, and even Candice, how have y'all carried adversity like that? How does that spur you? And how did that bring you to this moment, even though it's not finished yet?
Okay, I got it. I think from the last couple of years, all of our playoff games have been like, it's been something, you know, from Vegas, you know, it was a pain, like you said, that we would never stop feeling. So I think that that was just very unlucky for us. And then, you know, the bubble season and having so many injuries and dealing with that adversity, and then playing Connecticut and just not being a team that we wanted to be. And then for us to have this year start off with adversity and know what it's like and know what we have to do in order to get through it, and knowing that we still had enough in those moments, but we just still came up short. But for us to stay the course and really just trust our process just trust that everybody was going to be okay and things were going to be fine. So I think that those moments prepared us for this.
Cheryl Raystout, WBEZ Radio. Nice to see you ladies in person. Courtney and Kalia, what does it mean to have that woman in the middle sign with this team and get you to where you're at right now?
I think, it's just special. I told her, I think when she signed, I told James, I mean, we had so many conversations and we knew that we had a special group. We had something special here in Chicago that we had built over time, and we were missing one piece, and it was Candice Parker. I mean, that was it. And, even through the ups and downs, it wasn't a perfect season by any means. But we still believed, and we knew what she brought to us. She was going to take us to this point that we are right here. And so that's what, it means to us for her to come here and come home. And, to hear her say that if she's just happy being here, that makes it even more special, because we are so happy to have her, whether we win a championship or not. She changed this franchise, and put us in an opportunity to win a championship. To follow. I think she's special. I tell her like we have small conversations before the game, but she's always telling me like what I can do and whatever. And I'm just looking at her like, it's you, like it's you, but I'm taking it all in, but I'm like, it's you. But I just think she's so special because she just put everybody before herself. She's a great leader, over communicator, yell at me when it's quiet in the gym. But I mean, I appreciate her so much because I tell her, I'm like, you have the blueprint, like you've done it. Like we need her. Well, we needed her. And she is the reason why we going to the finals. Can I just say this though? Like, this is a special group. And I think it shows every game, like everybody steps up in a different way. And it's the same thing just with our team. Like, this year was hard. Like, we're sitting here and like, this is great, but it was hard this year. And so like, just to come into the locker room and see people get back up, I think that for me is the biggest thing. Like we have a bunch of people that get up, like you get knocked down and you get up. And so, I mean, I think this is a special group. I think everybody held their weight and everybody pulled, I mean, to be sitting here,
Candice, Michelle Vopel, ESPN. One of the things that James said is you've had pressure like your entire life, from top high school recruit to Tennessee to #1 pick to MVP your rookie year. And he said you chose to take on even more pressure by coming back home. Did you think of it that way? And was that part of what appealed to you?
I honestly looked at this team, and after playing against them for so many years, like I wanted to be a part of it. I loved how we play in flow. I loved how we moved the ball. I love how we shared the ball. I loved the different roles people had on the team. And I think, there's pressure in every situation. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as an opportunity. I mean, to be mentioned in, the ability to be able to win a championship, you don't get that a lot, and that was something I don't think any of us wanted to shy away from. It looked a little scary a couple times during the year. But I think we kind of kept our eyes on the prize. And so for me, I don't worry about that. Luckily it's a team game. So it's not just me.
So Courtney and Kalia, obviously there's 3 players on the roster from Chicago, but do you feel adopted now, especially since you've been here for a decade? Do you feel adopted by the city? I know you're North Philly forever. I'm not, but
Watch the video, huh?
I heard once or twice.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, I met my wife here. This is like a second home to me for sure. I definitely feel I know nothing other than Chicago Sky, so yeah, it's special to play for this city. Yeah.
I had a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had one more.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Apologies.
North Philly will always be first, but I am slowly getting adapted. I had my first Portillo's this year. So I'm making my way.
Did you like it?
I did.
The chocolate cake is fire.
Yo, that chocolate cake.
It's good.
Okay, and then one more question. What's the plan for tomorrow? Do you guys relax? Is it film? What's the plan?
We might be traveling
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we're traveling.
I think we might be
We're going.
traveling tomorrow. Depending on, I mean, I think regardless, honestly. But yeah, we roll with the punches.
Okay,
Hello.
so Allison Moran from The Next, thank you for a wonderful season, first of all. And this has been a treat from a lifelong Chicagoan. But let's move ahead to the finals. What will it take to bring home that piece of gold, that final championship? Where does that, and how does one prepare for something like this? Candice, you've had the most experience with this.
The finals are hard. I'm 1-1 in the finals. I was telling Ka today, like game 4s at home, closeout elimination, haven't been good to me in the finals. I'll tell you that. It's hard. So obviously we're going to enjoy this tonight. We don't know who we're playing. But I think our big focus this postseason has been about us. Like it has been about us. It has been about our defense, our rebounding, our ability to move and share the ball. And I think if we do that, it'll still be hard, but I like our chances.
Courtney, you touched on it in one of your previous answers, just what it's the years of building to this point that then Candice is the missing piece. And you've been here through all of that. And Wade has talked numerous times about what you mean to this franchise, to this organization, and that you've led the team back to this moment, to the WNBA finals. What did you feel after that win? He said it was a great moment, and I know you're not one to talk about emotions, but what did that moment mean to you, and what was the locker room like after?
Yeah, it was special because, you know, as like you said, I've been here a long time, and we've had rocky seasons. You know, we've had people want to be out of Chicago, a bad reputation, hard to get free agents. You know, like I'm out there texting everybody, trying to get people to come here at some point. So it's been a lot. But when we finally got that core group, when we got Ka and Diamond, and we were building around these players that wanted to be here, we had something very special. And I knew it because of the previous seasons that I've been here. And so, you know, it was an easy sell to Candice. But when I was out there and I looked up at that sign that said like finals bound, and I just I stopped Allie because she's kind of been with it the whole time with me. And I just was like, yeah, it hit me. You know, I looked up in the crowd and I could not believe I didn't see an empty seat in that lower bowl. So it was very heartwarming. I got a little emotional too, you know, but I had to pull it together and act like a G, of course. But
Period.
but yeah, it was very special. And, you know, seeing James on the floor, because we had, you know, such a heartbreaking finish to that after Vegas in 2019. And, you know, it made it all worth it. Everything that we've been through, everything that this organization has been through, it finally came full circle tonight, you know, and of course we're not finished, and it would be a disappointment to not bring a trophy home, but you know, we've put a lot of work into making this. And so at that moment out there, I definitely took it all in and enjoyed it, you know.
Phil Thompson, Chicago Tribune. Candice, you have the Blackhawks jersey. You remind me, I have camp tomorrow. But anyway, kind of getting back to this clinching game, Candice and Courtney have kind of a question for each of you to answer about the other. Tonight seemed kind of like a chess match. We talked about the adjustments that they would try to make. And, you know, Courtney, it seemed like they were challenging you as a facilitator, and they were going to take that away. Candice, if you could talk about how she responded to that with the threes, and then Courtney, if you can kind of talk about Candice's all-around game and how she was just kind of the glue for key moments in this game for her.
Well, it's been fun for me playing with Sloot just because, I mean, her IQ level, like, I know we look at the passes and we're like, wow, she saw it. No, she manipulated it to develop the pass, and there's a difference. There's people that make passes and there's people that cause that to happen. And she does that. And so I think just tonight, like, teams have trouble in pick and rolls guarding Sloot because there's so many different things. And so they decided tonight to go under, and she was knocking down the three. And I think it just makes us a different ball club. We always preach, like, be aggressive. She tells me to be aggressive. I tell her to be aggressive. Like, we're a different team when that happens. And I just love the way that she adjusts, and I love the constant communication. Like, that's something that has developed over, this season, is just continuing to talk, because the ball is going to be in our hands a lot.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm out there with Candice, I have another point guard on the floor, which makes my job easier. Of course, there was moments during the game that I was struggling a little bit, and I told her, like, I need you to kind of take over. I got to get my bearings back, and that's what she does. She's comfortable with the ball in her hand, and good things happen when it's in her hands. So she made huge plays for us, like she has been, and so we're going to continue to use her in that way.
And quick one for Kalia. We've seen what, on an emotional level, what you've been like in this series. What kind of Kalia are we going to see in the WNBA finals?
For sure, I'm gonna be consistent, but I want to win. I think that that energy, it goes right through every person on this team, whether they're out there on the floor playing or whether they're on the bench. The energy is so infectious. So me just bringing that consistently, I have to bring that. That's just what I have to do. I have to affect the game in many ways. If I'm not scoring, I need to play defense. If I'm not playing good defense, I need to have the energy. So it's a gift. It's a gift. So I'm embracing it, and I'm just excited that I'm able to bring those different things to the team.
Ladies, I'd like to ask you if you could pull the curtain back a little bit and tell us about James Wade and what he's meant to this organization and to this season.
I think personally, he was the one that really was like, you should come here. Like, he reached out. I remember we had dinner once free agency started, and I think just the passion and the drive, and I honestly think that it's just like watching him as an opponent. Like, I really enjoyed, and I don't know, they would pop up on my feed, like the Chicago Sky, whatever, would pop up on my Explore page, and it would be like him after the game, like celebrating everybody individually. So I think just in terms of, like, as a unit, like preaching togetherness, preaching unity, and I think that kind of trickles down, from top to bottom.
I think okay. Oh, sorry, Shannon.
Okay. Just Candice, could you, I just want to clarify, like, when you were talking about the text that you were getting that had Portillo's and deep dish pizza, when was that exactly?
It was during free agency.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
Hey, trying to say,
this was
trying to
the
get a
sell.
text from the league.
Yeah.
I think it was like end of January, February.
But this was like the sell to you, like, well,
Yeah, like it was cool. Like I got back to my house in LA, and there was like, pizza, like Chicago deep dish pizza, and Portillo's and Garrett's popcorn.
texted to you as pictures, you mean? Or
No, like the
like
food.
it was delivered to
Yeah,
you?
it was
Oh.
delivered in LA. Like, you could get this all the time. So now, like, when I drive past Portillo's from practice, like I get it. Like, I understand.
We just wanted to remind her what
Yeah,
she could do on a daily basis.
And I do.
If she chose to. Yeah.
And then just, you growing up around here and knowing the Chicago sports landscape and how tough it is for teams to get attention sometimes, even when teams are really good. Do you feel like this Sky team is kind of getting embraced by the city finally?
Definitely getting embraced by the city, and I knew we would. Scottie Pippen was at our game today. Like, the 10-year-old, like, Scottie Pippen was at our game today. like he's the next best thing to Ron Harper in my eyes, but because if Ron Harper was my hero growing up, but honestly, like that says a lot. Like Chance the Rapper, Jesse Jackson, like, I mean, we've had people come out constantly to our games, and I think it's just going to continue to improve. Like women's basketball has the place in this community, and I know from a grassroots standpoint, like people follow Chicago sports from high school to wherever they end up, and then hopefully back in Chicago.
Few more questions. Christos Saltes.
Hello, ladies. First of all, congratulations about your achievement. Candace, you are a series away from a championship in your first season as a Chicago Sky player. How special is this, and what it means for you to win that championship in this for this city, for this organization?
I'm a one day at a time. I'm going to enjoy this, getting to the finals, and I'll tell you how that feels. Hopefully, I'll be able to tell you how that feels. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Like we have a lot of work. We got two teams that are battling it out right now and are going to be tough. I can't even describe. I don't even know. So I'll have to let you know, hopefully when that happens.
And for Courtney Kalia, what is the most special part of this group, and why this version of Chicago Sky is so special?
Special about this group.
Oh, I think that we're special because top to bottom, everybody's really good. There is no let off when we're making substitutions. I think that we have genuine relationships. We genuinely care about each other, and we're so connected. It's not just, we come to practice and we just leave. It's not like we want to be together all the time. It's like the relationships are really solid. So I think that the fact that we can deal with each other outside of just basketball, it goes a long way.
Rafiq Lewison.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. Congratulations on getting back to the finals, Candice Parker. I want to ask you, you've had a real big year. You were on cover magazines, you was on 2K magazines. Now you're back in your third finals, only for the first time with your hometown team. How does it feel about the year that you had so far?
It's been special. I think I definitely have a lot more basketball behind me than I do in front of me. And I know that. So I think I'm really taking in moments and how special it is, and, opportunities. I think sometimes when you're young, you think that there's going to be so many more. I mean, Sloot, 2014, you're like, okay, we're going to do this again. We're going to get to the finals. And it's like, you look up and it's 8 years later, So I think opportunity is really special to have. And, it's been a great season, and I'm hoping to continue to add to it.
And to continue on the conversation, you had Adam, your co-host with NBA TNT, come to watch you in the game against Connecticut Sun earlier in the series. And then you have in game 4, you had Scottie Pippen, as you mentioned, and Chance the Rapper support you throughout this season. How important is it to always have the celebrity support towards this playoff run?
I think it's important. I mean, Adam Lefko is amazing. He's my teammate on air. At TNT, I have some amazing teammates. The culture there is what really honestly made me want to be a part of this culture. Just how close we are and how we just support each other. So I think it's super special that, people have shown up and showed support.
Appreciate your insight and good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
Zachary Draves.
Hi, congratulations to all of you. My question is for Courtney. Regardless of what happens in the finals going forward, looking back on this season, given everything that the team has been through, how would you want this team to be remembered by history going forward?
Definitely that we play together, that we sacrifice. That we sacrifice for each other, that we are hard to play against, that we are fun to watch. I'm talking. Sorry. All of those things that I think that we've built over time. I think the joy that we play with is special, and it's, not always the case. But I think, you know, you can see it when you watch us that we enjoy playing and we enjoy playing together. So I think that's the number one thing.
Thank you, Courtney, and good luck to all of you in the finals.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last question, no Will.
Good evening. My question is for Candice. Candice, you have accomplished so much on the court, but off the court, you are a business person. So outside of basketball, what is left for Candice Parker, the business person, to accomplish?
There's a lot, hopefully. You know, I always joke, I want women's basketball players and I want women to be in rooms where business is done. So I think that's the next thing is walking into more rooms and seeing people that look more like us. So I think that's where you really cross into business. So that's my goal. Magic transcended what people thought athletes could do in the business world. And I hope to do the same for women and women in sports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very nice.